We face two enemies on two fronts, but they will not deny us. My legions are holding, the enemy is contained, and my reinforcements are endless. We control our fate. There will be no survivors. There will be no distress calls. There will be no enemy ships in orbit. We shall ascend from our millennium-long slumber to reclaim our tomb world.
Officio Assassinorum Log.
The Necrons are closing in. It will only be a matter of time before they reach us.
In pursuit of target.
Prepare to transport the adamantium before it is too late.
My pursuit nears its end.
And ready my ship.
Target in sight.
Unlike the Space Marines, today isn't a good day to die.
Exodus Acta Probit, the outcome justifies the deed.
They are expendable, we are not.
Not so, traitor.
Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to play part 2 of the Battle Lore finale of Tomb World. If that's not to your liking, then thank you for tuning in, but it's now time for you to book your one-way ticket to the Custodes Armory. There you will find out what distracted them from defending the Imperium for 10 millennia. Before I say let's move the narrative on, please do like and subscribe to our channel. I'm told by several Mechanicus cogitors that this will help grow the channel so more of you get to watch our free content. I'd also like to apologise for the long gap between part 1 and part 2. I rolled a double one and I needed time to recover. So let's recap the continuing narrative, mission rules and highlights from part 1's Battle Lore report. In the depths of the desolate tomb world, scarred by imperial modernity, the ancient Necrons stirred from eons of slumber. With mechanical precision, they rose from their sepulchres, their gleaming bodies pulsating with renewed vigour. Exposed by the Ultramarines' orbital bombardment, the once forgotten structures resonated with the hum of reanimation protocols as the Necrons reclaimed their ancestral domain. Delayed by the Ultramarines' destruction of the gateway, swarms of scarabs scoured the barren landscape, restoring the necrodermis that adorns their colossal constructs. With each passing moment, the tomb world springs back to life, echoing with the resolute march of the undying legions towards the Ultramarine Garrison and Votann prospectors. Amidst the ancient ruins, the cradle of the Thinit Dynasty, the Necrons rise once more, ready to reign supreme over their tomb world. In this finale, each army is circa 4,500 points. The Necrons have an overwhelming superiority in numbers, with wave upon wave of battle line units hurling themselves forward. The tomb has fully activated after 50 years of repairs caused by the Ultramarine destruction of the gateway in part 2. To represent the size of an attack like this, the Necrons have the sustained attack special rule, where they can recycle their battle line units when they are destroyed. Recycled units are brought back into play to represent the almost limitless supply of reinforcements from the tomb. All battle line units that are wiped out move on from the Necron's board edge in Warzone 1. Any battle line units which fail a battle shock test or depleted by 50% of their original strength will immediately be taken off the board and redeployed to represent the endless wall of living metal intent on reclaiming their homeworld back. Night Scythes and Ghost Arcs cannot be recycled. Because of the lack of coordination between the bickering defenders, the Thinit Dynasty has deployed an inner spear tip formation and counts as moving in the first turn. Narratively, I want the defenders to feel overwhelmed by the reactivation of the tomb. As long as the defenders remain stationary, they have unlimited access to firing Overwatch to represent a hail of wildfire fired by the defenders to drive the wall of living metal back. That's why the mission is called Metal Grinder.
With reanimation protocols completed, it's time to start the Thinit Dynasty's turn 2. Lord Narmer has received a transmission from the tomb indicating that the enemy has lost 33% of its strength. The tomb has also indicated to Lord Narmer that his remaining units on the board have activated their reanimation protocols and are ready to press their advantage forward. He's realistic, however. He understands that the spear tip has been broken in Warzone 3. It's now time for the battle line units to enter the fray to replace them. The Immortals carrying their Tesla carbines are going to materialise here. Immortals carrying their Gauze blasters are going to materialise just here. The Scorpet destroyers, as well as the Ophidian destroyers, have moved forward, ready to charge. The Necrons here are creating that barrier to protect the Triarch Stalkers and Reanimator, who has advanced forward. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, crikey, that's a bit OP, because you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 units which can overwatch here. But narratively, that makes sense. You're not going to go, okay chaps, come on forward, I'm not going to shoot you. Of course you're going to. And the same goes for here. We're going to have the Thunderkin who are going to be able to overwatch, as well as the land fortress. And of course, the Ultramarines, where the shattered Star Guard has moved from, will be able to overwatch. And maybe moving those Necron warriors an inch forward puts them in the firing line a little bit as well. But they've moved out of their transport, so they've moved anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And that was the order of the tomb. I've definitely made a mistake moving the monolith forward, considering how many wounds it has left, with the eradicators ready to continue their excellent firing against it. And there you have it. One turn of Necron movement. I feel this will be the end of the Eradicators if they fail to destroy the advancing monolith. Let's see what happens. They get, with their melter rifles, 1 shot each. The good news is that they can re-roll the hit roll, wound roll, and the damage roll. You saw how effective it was in exploding the moment in turn 1. Let's see what happens here. They need 6s. 1 hit so far. But only 1 hit. These are strength 9 against toughness 14. They are going to need 6s. Yes. D6 damage. Does the monolith save? It doesn't. Roll damage. Need this to be a 6. It's in half range. So it's going to be D6 plus 2. Let's see what happens. Reroll. Total obliteration. So it gets 6 points of damage, which I believe has caused the destruction of the monolith. That would have been monolithic if that was the case. However, the monolith regenerated 3 wounds in the command phase, putting it on 7, and is now on 1 wound remaining, meaning again it's hitting at -1. Being between a rock and a hard place, the Void Dragon has survived one side of Overwatch to walk into another against the Hecatan Land Fortress, who's going to use its heavy Magna Rail cannon. Gets 1 attack with this, it needs a 6. Gets it. Good start. Strength 18 against Toughness 11, needs a 3. I am going to use a command reroll. This fortress has to survive. Wounds. That is devastating wounds. Oh my goodness me. The Star God could die here. I'm now going to roll D6 plus 6 mortal wounds. The Star God is dead. That was a rock in a hard place. Deadly demise. Does it explode? I want it to. Let's see. I hope it does. And it explodes. This is going to hurt more than 1 unit. So let's resolve deadly demise. We have the Hecatan Land Fortress. Takes 6 mortal wounds. The Pioneers, 5 mortal wounds. Killing 1, putting 1 on 1 wound, the kill count goes up. Immortals, 3 mortal wounds, 3 drop to the floor. The Warriors, 4 drop to the floor. Great. And how many mortal wounds does the Ghost Ark take? 3 mortal wounds. Ouch. We have 4 Immortals. They get 2 shots each with their Gauze blasters. They're going to be firing at the Pioneers, as already suggested to you. I'm also going to use Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant because they're within half range, so they'll be able to re-roll the wound roll, which is going to be really, really important, considering that these Pioneers are toughness 6 and the Gauze Blaster is only strength 5. They are lethal hits on rolls of 6 as well, so they will automatically wound. One of the Pioneers is on 1 wound due to the explosion caused. by the Hexen Land Fortress. We have one definite wound. Let's put that to one side. We've missed twice. Let's see what happens. We need 5s. We've now wounded 3 times. We can re-roll these. So in total, the 4 remaining immortals have wounded 3 times, sorry. There's 4 of them, they've wounded 3 times. The armor save is AP -1. 3 up normally. No, 4 up. Crikey. That is surprising considering they're riding hover cycles. So let's see, they need 5s. 1 dies, 1 is on. We now have 9 immortals, one of their number being destroyed in Overwatch by the heavy intercessors, who are going to fire their Tesla carbines at the Pioneers. Again, strength 5 weapon against toughness 6. There is no AP with these either, but I'm hoping to achieve some sustained hits. These are also assault weapons. Let's see what happens. And there is no penalty to hit with assault weapons. Thank goodness. Right. Actually, that's not bad at all, is it? We've missed with 3 of them, but we put those 3 back because of sustained hits. 2, we put 2 back. I'm ever so sorry. So, 1, 2. So in total, we've hit 24 times with 18 shots. So let's see how that pans out. We need 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 wounds. 10 wounds, sorry. 10 wounds in total. So we've got to make 10 4-ups. Remember, one of the Pioneers is only on 1 wound. So let's see what happens next. I was thinking about whether the original Immortal squad who just fired should have had a cover save, but of course there is a panspectral scanner which negates that. So I'm glad I knew that without knowing, if you know what I mean. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So take those away. Crikey. Sorry about that. So we need 4s. Oh, that's much better. By the Votann. Another one bites the dust, and another one is on 1 wound. So far, they've lost 2 of their number, leaving 3 left, and one of those is on 2 wounds. We now move to the remaining Tomb Blades. The Gauze Blasters of the Tomb Blades, they are twin linked and have lethal hits. They need 3s to hit. So they hit 4 times. They now need 5s to wound. The twin linked element here will come in handy because of the higher toughness of the Pioneers. It gives me a second opportunity to wound them. So I've wounded once so far. I've wounded twice. The Pioneers now need to make 2 saves of 5. Fail both of them, another Pioneer is destroyed, putting another one on 2 wounds. While Lord Narmer might be unsatisfied by the level of destruction caused by the Immortals and Tomb Blades, all 3 units hit, all 3 units wounded, and all 3 units caused damage. And that's all you can ask for. Whether that's enough to win the game, we will see. We now move on to the Doom side. Now before I fire the heavy death ray at the heavy intercessors, they've got to decide whether they're going to duck for cover or they're going to stand firm. If they duck for cover, they're going to have to subtract 1 from their hit rolls next turn, in their next turn of shooting. If they stand firm, 5s are criticals for me. So 1, 2, 3, they stand firm. 4, 5, 6, they duck for cover. Let's see. So they duck for cover. Let's see what happens. Remember, these are the heavy intercessors who failed to charge the Ophidian destroyers, leaving Tigerius to be mortally wounded by them. They just watched on, hardly heroic. So we've hit 3 times. If they had stood firm, that would have been a critical, but it's not. But that one is, so it's D3. So I get 2 additional hits. So in total, we've got 5 hits by the heavy death ray at the heavy intercessors. These are strength 16 against toughness 6. We need 2s. All of them have wounded. These are AP -4. They are in the trench. So normally they would be saving, they would, it's -4, so it's past their armor save. But a 6 will keep them alive. They need 6s. These cause D6. In fact, you have to roll them individually. These cause D6 +1 damage. Dead. Well, not dead yet, possibly dead. Yeah. 7 wounds caused. Three wounds, 2 dead. Three dead. I suspect Tigerius looks on from Gilliman's Fury, thinking, yeah, you deserve this. How did I miss the board? I'm an orc. Another 1 dead. Definitely dead. Let's see. Another 1 dead. Yep. 4 wounds. So that unit is now wiped out. That significantly helps the Immortals to stay alive in Warzone 3. Luckily, I managed to keep the Doom Scythe on the board by chance rather than by design, because of the angle that it was at. I was able to move 23 inches and make that right at 90-degree turn. Let's move on then to the Twin Tesla Destructor. If I were Lord Narmer right now, I would imagine that algorithms are starting to be activated. Say, you know what, everything's going to be all right. I realise he isn't Bob Marley. Let's move on. So we have the Twin Tesla Destructor at the Hearthkin Warriors, who are toughness 5. They are in cover. These are sustained hits, 2 and twin linked. Let's see if we get any sustained hits. We don't. So in total we've hit 4 times. We need freeze to wound, strength 7 against toughness 5. Ugh. Get to reroll. Twin linked. So we're wounded 3 times. These are AP nothing. They are in the trench. They get +1 to their armor save. They're normally 4-ups, so they need freeze. 2 die. I'm sorry, Necron players, I don't mean to cause you PTSD by reminding you of the destruction caused by the Hecatan land fortress against the Void Dragon. But when the Void Dragon exploded, it caused 4 damage to the Necron warriors who disembarked from the Ghost Ark. At the end of that attack, I can activate their reanimation protocols using the repair barge rule. So they get back some wounds. Let's see what that will be. 1 of their number returns. I realise that reanimation roll probably caused you further consternation. Therefore, I'm going to cheer you up. And the Necron warriors are going to do some old school 7th edition shooting in 10th. They're using their Gauss Reapers, which cause lethal hits on hit rolls of 6, which is almost similar to causing glancing hits with a roll of 6. So let's see how many 6s we get. We need 4s to hit. Oh, that's not bad. We've wounded 3 times already. We can now see if we get a 6 here. We don't, but that battle tank now has to make 3 armor saves. It fails 1, it takes a wound. That probably didn't cheer you up. It made me feel better. The Triarch Stalker's Heat Ray is going to use its dispersed profile, which ignores cover and is torrent against the intercessors led by the Primaris Apothecary. So 2d6 hits, we get 7 in total, which is, I would imagine, just about average. I'm happy with that. We now need strength 5 against their toughness 4. We need 3s. Ouch. They have wounded all 7 times. Each one of these causes 1 damage. So for every 2 failed saving throws, the intercessors are going to lose a model. Lose a marine. AP -1, so we need 4s. So in total, 2 of the intercessors are dead. The monolith is going to use its particle whip to fire a tightly focused particle beam at the wounded intercessor squad. It almost looks like a bolt of powerful lightning which hits one of the intercessors, and the blast from that causes further damage. The difficulty is for me is that I've done it in the wrong order. Blast weapons cause +1 attack if there are 5 models in the unit, for every 5 models in the unit. Because I fired with the Triarch Stalker first, I have missed the opportunity to get that +1. But all is not lost because it causes 3d6 attacks. So in total we cause 16 attacks. What are you moaning at, Gary? We have 16 attacks with the Monolith's particle whip. The Monolith is the only ground vehicle to carry this weapon, which is more commonly used on Necron warships. But what does that matter if we don't hit? We would normally be hitting on 3s, but it's damaged and only has 1 wound left, so we are hitting on 4s. Okay, let's remove misses. So in total we have hit 7 times. These are strength 8 against toughness 4. We need 2s. We've wounded all 7 times, sorry. These are AP -1, so we don't get the benefits of cover. Because of that, I am going to roll them all together because each one causes 2 damage. Any failed saving throws will cause one of the Primaris Space Marines to die. They need 4s. So a further 3 are dead, leaving the apothecary behind. The Monoliths, 4 death rays, and now are going to concentrate their fire against the Eradicators. They're going to need 4s to hit, 6s are sustained hits D3. These are strength 12, -4, D6 +1. We miss twice, 3 times in fact, because it's at a -1 penalty for being damaged. How many does it get back? It gets 3 back, so in total it hits 4 times. Thank goodness for sustained hits, eh? We now need 2s to wound. I am going to re-roll that. So in total we have wounded 4 times. For the Eradicators to survive, they need 6s on their saving throw. The AP of the Heatway is -4. That takes out their armor save to a 7, which they can't achieve on a D6 of course, but D6 +1 they can. So we need 6s on the dice. They have 3 wounds each, so the damage of each one of these is going to be, well, we need a 2 for the damage to kill each of the Eradicators. So how much damage do we cause here? 7. One of the Eradicators dies. Saves. Nice. Let's see what the damage is. Another Eradicator dies with 4 wounds. Let's see. And the 3rd Eradicator dies. So the importance of re-rolling that wound roll has paid dividends.
The defenders lie in ruin, strewn with the bodies of their fallen. Amidst the smoke and debris, the eerie glow of Gore's weaponry illuminates the murderous Necrons. Their implacable advance, led by an unrestrained Overlord Narmer, shattered all resistance. No longer preoccupied with the preservation of transhuman flesh for biotransference, Lord Narmer deleted the memory engrams, blocking his killing efficiency. With no algorithmic recall of creating the human race from star matter made flesh to feed the Votann and later return his dynasty to flesh, The lifeless husks of his foes served as a testament of his transformation to the Silent King, who watched on, ready to punish his wayward brother. With cold efficiency, Overlord Narmer's unstoppable will over his dynasty's undying legions liberated Toonworld, securing the dominion of the Thinit Dynasty.